So, when I realized that no matter how much money you make, if you still need to ask for permission to take the day off, it's still not enough. You know, I was able to quit my 9-to-5 over 6 years ago now, and I have decided that I am never going back. It is nothing like, I can't even explain what freedom really means when I'm just on my own. I don't have to ask for a day off, or if I'm not feeling well, to ask, can I take a sick day? Like, these are things that I don't have to do anymore, and I never want to do them again. But when I was working my 9-to-5, I never thought I had another option. And I am on a mission to let everyone know that there is another way. It's a better way. Everybody doesn't even know this, and that's why I want to do this video. Because if you're like me, I didn't have any special skills. I wasn't techie. So what could I do in this online world? And that is actually one of the most common questions that I get from people. Like, Whitney, I want to quit my job, but I don't know what to do. What are some things that I can do? And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm also going to be very honest. This whole entrepreneurship world, starting your own business, is not all roses and daisies, but I am going to give you the blueprint on how to quit your 9-to-5 and make more money, because I know that if I can do it, so can you. So you guys ready to get into it? Let's go. Okay, so there are 5 steps I want you to take in order if you want to quit your job. Step 1, don't quit your job. Yeah, I don't care what great idea you have, until the money starts rolling in or where it meets or exceeds your current income, then please, I'm begging you, stay at your job. And I want to talk about why that matters in a second. I don't want to be a hypocrite, because I actually quit my job before I even made more than $500 for my business. But the only reason I did that was because I made $500. I'm like, man, if I could just keep this up, I can continuously do this. But I knew it would take time. I had to trust the process. So that was like all the ammo I needed to know that this could really work. And what I did was, my husband and I, we moved to living on one income and started saving all of my paychecks. Not everyone is able to do that. If you can do that, then you can go my route, making sure that something works first. But if you can't, I honestly recommend just staying at your job first and looking at your job differently. Like, we have to change our perspective here. Your 9-to-5 is now going to be known as your first business partner. It's going to fund your exit plan. So it's going to help you continue to keep a roof over your head, food to eat, while you work on your business. So now that we know that you're not quitting just yet, let's go to number 2, which is, what's your number? Like, how much do you need to make before you quit? And surprisingly, people have no idea how much they need to live on. So what you want to do is just honestly just start by calculating your monthly expenses, include like your fixed costs like rent, your phone bill, things that you know you're going to have to pay for every single month. And then add in your variable costs like entertainment. You still might want to live a little. And then you want to add in your savings, taxes, and health insurance. And you would not believe how many people stay at their jobs just for health insurance. Like, yes, health insurance is extremely important, but you have options. Self-employed people, we have options. So I want to put a link to an article that's going to be really helpful, just so you can understand what your options are. Now, once you have a total, set an income goal that covers both your needs and future growth. Use that number as the goal. And when you're choosing what you want to do, this is going to help you decide, okay, I can do this business because it can profit me this much money every single month. You know, you want to have that number in mind when you're choosing your next business idea. Which brings us to step number 3, find a profitable business idea that you can still work on while you are at your 9-to-5. Now, before we get into actually what you're going to choose, let's talk about how you can make this work. Because you are already working a 9-to-5. How in the world can you build a business on the side with everything else you got going on? I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else and what I did myself. You make the time. I found out a long time ago that people, they do what they want. So this is what I did when I was working my 9-to-5. I would get up early in the morning before work and I'd work on my business. At my lunch hour, I'd work on my business. When I got home, took care of the family, dinner, all that stuff, I'd work on my business. It became my other thing. I was laser focused. I cut out TV, hanging out with friends, anything that would take time away from me building my business outside of my actual needing to be a wife and a mother. I cut it out. And keep in mind, at this point in my life, guys, I am pregnant. I have a 2-year-old toddler. I'm exhausted. I'm a wife to a great husband, and I'm still holding down a 9-to-5. And that's why I tell everybody, if I can do this, anybody can. It just all goes back down to, what do you want? Do you want to watch this Netflix show more than your freedom? These are the questions you have to continuously ask yourself just to stay focused, because it's not easy. And I'm not going to act like it is. You got to keep in mind, if I want this, I can't do that. It's just temporary. It's temporary sacrifice for a life worth of freedom, to do what you want to do. Okay, so now that you know how you're going to do this, let's figure out what are you gonna do? And this is one of the hardest parts. Like, people love to make this part seem so easy or make it sound easy. Oh, just pick a service and sell a service. That's the easiest, lowest cost thing that you can do. And yes, it is. But what service can I do? I mean, if I knew what that was, I wouldn't be in my 9 to 5 now, right? So when it comes to asking yourself, what do you want to do? I'm all about like finding out what works for somebody else. So for example, when I got started, I was trying to figure out what could I do. I saw these bloggers making $100,000 a month. So I said, okay, let me follow their proven business model, because I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm just gonna see what works, make it my own, and execute. And that's what I did. My first year, I didn't make a lot of money at all. But the very next year, I made over $200,000, and that was like life-changing for my family and I. Now, I've gone on to do other things, but that is what helped me escape this 9 to 5 rat race. Finding out what works, what other people are doing, and ask myself, do I want to do that or do I want to do that? You know, ask myself internally, am I willing to do what it takes to do what they did if I want those type of results? And what I chose was to do what these bloggers were doing, and I was able to follow their model and do it. So that's what I always recommend to people. You know, find something that works. And since people are always asking me like, Whitney, well, what can I do? I got so tired of saying, well, I don't know. You know, everybody doesn't want to do what I do. Like, I can make a video by just finding out what people are searching for and do a video answering their questions by just doing a little research. All you have to do is just be one step ahead of someone. And a lot of people don't like to do research, so I'll do the work if it's gonna make me some money. I talked about on another video how I did this Amazon video. It was like the audio was trash, but I made $7,000 from that video. And I did that video again when my mic was working. And then I made $15,000 with that video. So you wanna learn my strategy and how I make money? I'm gonna put my free ebook in the description below so you guys can check that out. But I understand everybody doesn't wanna do my method of how I make money online. And that's okay. And that's why I created this community of people that I interviewed, all 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs doing different things. And I did this in a way for you guys to look through with a list to say, hey, that's something I want to do. I want to do that. And then we help you grow it and monetize it. So I built this community to help other people start an online business because it's something that completely changed my life, and I wanted to change others as well. So if you guys are looking for a way to make money online and you're not sure what to do and you want to use my strategy, I want to put the link to my community in the description below. I will tell you though, we are going to close the doors soon. So by the time you watch this video, if the doors are closed, make sure you join the wait list so you can be the first to know once we open them back up. Or if it's open by the time you watch this video, take advantage of it now because we're going to close the doors soon. And the other perk of our community is that when we interview these 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, we get on live calls. So our members actually did to be on the call as well. And like, for example, today, I get to actually interview Liz Wilcox, and she makes $40,000 a month selling a $9 product. So everyone in my community is able to be on the call with me as I interview her, and they get to ask her questions too. So they can apply these same proven strategies that's working for her to their business. So it's just like being in the room. You get to be in the room in my community. So anyway, hopefully you can join, but even if you don't, this is what I would recommend you do. Now, if there's something you wanna do, but you feel like it's too difficult, I'm telling you, learn that thing. So when I first started out, I wanted to create a website on WordPress, like the top bloggers did, but it had such a steep learning curve, like WordPress, like, oh my gosh, what in the world? I had no idea what I was doing. I was so frustrated. It took me days just to figure out one thing, but I kept at it because I didn't wanna pay for someone else to do it. So I knew if I wanted a website, I had to figure it out myself. But you know what? I eventually mastered creating my website. And don't get me wrong, I don't know any coding or anything like that, but I was using templates, and I essentially like became a front-end developer by building my own website. Now my website became my portfolio, and soon people were starting to ask, like, who built your website? Can you help me do mine? Can you do a website for me? And I eventually got to the point where I was charging $1,000 for a site that only took me just a couple of days to create. So my advice is learn how to do the hard things, because most people, they don't have the patience to learn how to do the hard things. But because you're not like most people, and you know if you knew how to do this skill that you could get paid for it, then you do it. You'd master it. You use yourself as a guinea pig. I'm telling you guys, I've seen this happen every single time. Every time you learn how to do the thing that most people don't want to know how to do, you learn how to do that thing, then people will pay you because you know now how to do that thing. So that is just like the game changer. It's something to think about, like asking yourself, like, what can I do that is like, I'm like not wanting to do, and ask yourself, would I want to learn that and then be able to teach people how to do it? That's a big thing that I think you can make a lot of money from, because businesses are only in business because you are solving a problem. So what problem can you solve? So step number 4 is, once you figure out your thing, it's time to put some timelines together for your milestones. So you can even use ChatGPT for this. For an example, you can put in ChatGPT, I want to start an online business doing virtual assistant work. Give me a 90-day timeline of what I should be doing to get to $6,000 per month. And then you can work off of that timeline. But I'm gonna be a huge disclaimer here, guys. Using AI is good to have just somewhere to get started on, but you want more than theory. You want to learn from people who are actually doing what you want to do. Now, once you have a plan of what you want to do, you now know your number, you now know what it takes to get there, then following your timeline, this is the thing you need to do next. Stick with it. I always say, trust the process, not the progress. It takes a while before you start making money, but if you just trust the process, you're gonna master this thing. Every day you are doing something towards your business. Even if it's just listening to a podcast, that's something. You know, it's like a plant. If you want it to grow, you have to water it. Same with you. If you want your business to grow, you have to work on it. Now, does that sound like something you can do? Let me know in the comment section. And if you are still here at the end of this video, I love to do this to see who actually stuck around. Let me know one thing you'd enjoy doing that you can't right now because of your 9 to 5. Like if it's spending more time with your family, sleeping in, whatever it is, I want to know. I want to see who's still here. And if you want to see how, if I had to start all over to make $10,000 a month, this is what I would do. You can watch this video right here. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.